When I got to the mission, they stripped me and took away my clothes, including the orange shirt. I never wore it again. I didn't understand why they wouldn't give it back to me. It was mine. The color orange has always reminded me of that, and how my feelings didn't matter, how no one cared, and how I felt like I was worth nothing. All of us little children were crying, and no one cared.
When I was your age, at home in my community, my friends and I wore many different colors. But at the school I went to, far away from home, they gave us different clothes to wear. All the children were dressed the same, and our clothes weren't colorful at all. We all mixed together like storm clouds. Why did you have to dress like that? I asked. They didn't like that we wore such beautiful colors, Nocom said. They wanted us to look like everybody else.
I lost my dog. I lost my dog, the dog you took away. When I was a little girl at Shubhanakadi school, you snatched it away. I speak like you, I think like you, I create like you. The scrambled ballad about my word. Two ways I talk, both ways I say. Your way is more powerful. So gently I offer my hand and ask, let me find my dog so I can teach you about me.
It was after Christmas that Cheryl got into trouble at school. She told me all about it at lunchtime. That morning, her teacher had been reading accounts of how the Indians had scalped, tortured, and massacred brave white explorers and missionaries. Cheryl's anger began to build. All of a sudden, she had loudly protested. "This is all a bunch of lies." "I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that," the teacher had said calmly. "Then I'll say it again. I'm not going to learn this garbage about the Indian people," Cheryl had said louder, feeling she couldn't back down. Everyone else had looked at her as the teacher approached her desk. "They are not lies. This is history. These things happened whether you like it or not. If this is history, how come so many Indian tribes were wiped out? How come they haven't got their land anymore? How come their food supplies were wiped out? Lies, lies, lies."
Stolen Words by Melanie Florence. "Grandpa," she asked, clutching his hands, spinning under his arm before dropping it again. "How do you say grandfather in Cree?" He stopped breathing for a moment. A lifetime to a 7-year-old. He looked down at her sadly. "I don't remember," he answered. "I lost my words a long time ago." A frown clouded her face. "How do you lose your words, Grandpa?" she asked. "They took them away," he answered. She thought for a moment. "Where did they take them?" she asked. "Away to a school that was cold and lonely, where angry white faces raised their voices and their hands when we used our words," he answered. "They took our words and locked them away until we sounded like them. Harsh, sharp words so different from the sound of our beautiful ones."
I Am Not a Number by Kathy Kacer. My mother pulled me up against her, and I buried my face in the folds of her dress, pressing her tighter until there was no air between us. I couldn't let go. The Indian agent opened the door and motioned for us to come. Mom pried my arms from around her back and kissed the top of my head. I grabbed the back of Georgie's jacket and stumbled after him as he stepped toward the door. At least I had my brothers with me. I made a silent vow that we would stay together. As we walked into the sunlight toward the waiting bus, my mother ran forward. Look after each other, she cried. Never forget home or our ways. Never forget us. Never forget who you are. I turned one last time and gazed at her through bloody tears. How could I possibly forget my parents? How could I forget who I was? But then, how could I possibly guess what awaited me at the residential school?
Orange Shirt Day serves not only as a reminder of these painful histories, but also as a symbol of the resilience of Indigenous people. By wearing orange, Canadians acknowledge the injustices of the past and stand in solidarity with survivors in their journey towards healing. It is a day of education, reflection, and commitment to reconciliation. Together, these observances foster awareness and encourage dialogue about Canada's colonial past, while also advocating for justice, equity, and respect for Indigenous communities. Orange Shirt Day thus reminds us that every child matters and that truth and reconciliation are essential for a shared future built on mutual understanding.